Hey everyone, okay, another video for discussion, critical thinking, yada yada yada, implementation, all that stuff with emergency planning in general, not just your SHTF, WROL stuff, emergency planning in general. Today we're going to talk about what's called a PACE plan, not for communications and communications management, because that's one way the acronym PACE is implemented. I am talking about route planning and mobility logistics. PACE. PACE stands for primary, alternate, contingent, and emergency, or primary and then alternate being secondary, contingent being tertiary, emergency being exigent. Same difference. So, primary routes, alternate secondary routes, contingent tertiary third routes, and then your oh shit, this is an emergency fourth routes. Last resort kind of route where you need to take the quickest, most direct path to deal with an emergency, whether that's getting out of one or going into one. So yeah, we'll be flipping over here, and I'm going to be showing you basically a map image, and I'll have some narration to go with that. But things to consider: terrain features, main thoroughfares, in and out of areas that you live. How are these going to be obstacles for you in your emergency planning and establishing your PACE plan? Things to think about. Modern Frontiersman just talked about COCOA. That acronym, go watch his video on that. Key terrain features, like all those things. So with PACE planning and exigent and movement, route planning and mobility logistics and things like that, you know, what terrain features in your area are going to be obstacles, what do you need to avoid or utilize to your advantage, either way. Are bridges going to get knocked out, or they're going to end up being checkpoints? Main thoroughfares, are they going to be congested with traffic that you can't even utilize them in the event of a mass panic and evacuation, or otherwise damage from a natural disaster? Natural disaster is the forefront of any situation for anyone. For any primary factor for anyone with emergency planning, first off, is going to be natural disasters. Why? Because they happen all the goddamn time. SHTF, WROL, those come after. Obviously, implementing the same thing in the same ways, with the same kind of methodology, mentality and methodology and things like that. But a big one is disasters, disaster response, and disaster evacuation. So take those things into consideration, and yeah, we'll jump over to the image and narration here, and that'll round off the video. So, thanks. Okay, so what I want you guys to do is look at this map. This is just I chose a random city, and I picked like the north side of the city, and I want you to look at this map section, this image here, and look at the routes. Look at highways, interstates, county roads, like everything. What are you going to establish for your PACE plan? Your primary route, your alternate or secondary route, your contingent or tertiary route, and your emergency or exigent route. What are you going to pick? What are you going to plan to map routes that you will utilize in an E&E, an escape and evasion, in a contingent application or emergency application for SHTF, WROL, or just general emergencies regarding natural disasters, because that's going to be one of the biggest ones that's the most prevalent no matter what. You don't have to be waiting around for parachutes in the sky. You're going to be waiting for that next storm cloud that's going to roll through and bring a tornado or a hurricane or flooding or whatever it is. What routes can you utilize to implement into your pace plan to get out of the area, to evacuate the area, to utilize to get to a safer zone, whatever it is? So these are things you need to look at with this image. Look at these roads, and it's obviously going to apply a little bit differently based on where you are, and if you're already kind of in the country or not or whatever. But a lot of people live in cities. Obviously, they're cities. So just using this image as an example, what roads do you think would be smart to use to map and apply to your evacuation pace plan, your emergency pace plan, whatever application it is? What roads do you think are going to be the best avenues that are not going to be backed up, congested, roadblocked, checkpointed, or otherwise that you can utilize to get out of a situation? And what is the quickest route for emergency evacuation or emergency or exigent access into the city? Okay, so that's another factor too. Maybe you have to go in and get somebody out, get a family member out, whatever it is. Okay, so these are things that you need to look at and consider with this. So look at the routes and pick 3. Okay, primary, alternate or secondary, contingent or tertiary, and then a 4th most direct route, emergency or exigent route. Okay, so look at the image here, think about it for a little bit. I'm going to leave it up for a little bit and think about it. I appreciate you guys tuning in for this video, and there's going to be more random stuff and whatever else coming along. So again, I don't pigeonhole myself, but if you want to see some more of this stuff or whatever else, let me know. But again, look at this image and see how it factors for your area and your needs, and effective and necessary situation planning across the board. Thanks for tuning in, guys. Metal up. Out!